Today, we are hosting Eric Musembi, and he's here because he has a proposal to regulate the event and leisure tourism industry in the country. Do you understand what that is? Well, Eric is here. Eric, good morning.
Good morning, Eric.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Good to see you, Eric.
Good to see you, Eric.
Even the WhatsApp Nation is an Eric.
Right? Hey, hello, me. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello,
Eric's
Eric.
day.
Yes.
Okay.
Kabisa.
Talk on Eric Festival.
Yes. This is a guy of events.
Yeah, guy of events.
He's already thinking
Again, you
about
may
it.
attend, please. Eric Festival.
Yes.
Loading.
Before we give you the mic, Janet is going to give you the day's quote.
We are still on Katiba at 15. Leo tumesamani Boxing Day at Katiba at 15 because it's the next day. And so Albie Sachs, who is part of the Constitutional Court of South Africa, or was, and an ally in pushing back on apartheid, he once said the Constitution is a text for the people, not a code for lawyers. Do you think it's too coded in legalese?
I think there's too much use of jargon. If the Constitution was a little bit lay for most people, it would make more sense and more interpretable. Simplify it. They use so much code, I believe. Yeah, it should be a text for people, not a code. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, Eric Ulisema, you would like us to give you the mic because you think that there's something happening in the event and leisure tourism industry, and something needs to be done about it. And they said you want to regulate. Now, you asked for the mic, Eric, shika mic.
Oh, see literally. Okay.
Oh my God.
Not literally.
Not really. Okay. So, starting off from where Mariam just said about capitalism, hapo ndo nataka tuanzie the story about regulating events. So, back in US, capitalism, immowe events, vipaya, because when you look at Ticketmasters, just start right away. For the lack of regulation of the industry, events and leisure tourism, Ticketmasters monopolize the industry. So at Taylor Swift's ticket, I'm actually at $60, but you buy it at $200 from Ticketmasters because you cannot get it anywhere else. You bring it back home for what we just saw at what is actually continuing right now in Chan, ticket scalping. Ticket scalping is people buying tickets, hoarding, then reselling them. That is not the first time we are hearing about it actually in the industry. Imekuwa in the US, not regulated. But in more advanced countries in terms of the leisure industry, talk South Africa, talk Germany, talk Sweden, talk Norway, there's some regulation. We use a ticket more than 10% of the original price. Be it you are a reseller, you are a retailer, you are a ticketing company, but all this is because of consumer protection. Remember when the ticket price was being set, walikuwa wanaangalia value for money. Now it is value for demand. When it is not regulated.
Right.
Now, because
Open market.
you see, now that is capitalism, which is not controlled. Exactly. So, and that is just one service provider. Let's look at venues. Now, any other green lash in Nairobi, squeeze imekuwa ni venue. You just have some coffee plantation of apple. I just put a fence and this is a venue. Yeah. You don't know what's the seating capacity. You don't know when it's been sold out. You don't know. Hata kukuwa na stampede man, watu wanatokea wapi? You understand? Some of these venues, zingine hata zina lack hata basics like washrooms. You understand? Wow. Yeah. And this just to bring to light when you are bidding for international events like what we've just started doing in Chan, we have to practice international standards. When South Africa was doing their World Cup in 2010, they had to regulate their industry. In fact, there is a bill called the Event Bill in SA, what defines what a venue is, what a service provider is, what you are actually supposed to be so that you could be compliant as an event service provider. And Chan kind of exposed us. Honestly, me personally, I was not impressed with what we started thinking that we do not have the capacity.
Right.
People were scared of hosting the nations because maybe we don't have enough hotels and tours and whatever. But just come and fill them on tech, really tukijita Silicon Valley. Bro. I mean, respect majirani wakuwe na issue over this, but sisi bro. That was not it. I think if we are going to do AFCON as already we are ready to do, we need to start checking on this industry more closely.
Okay.
More closely.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's my submission.
Thank you, Eric. Let me start with, doesn't the regulation already exist?
No, where?
I don't know.
Yeah. What does
assume-
exist, right?
Yeah, I don't know how. I just assume there's some law somewhere magically that tells you, it gives you a guideline and it
If you
says
want to host an event.
If you want to host an
like
event,
our event, like our upcoming Eric's
Festival.
Eric's
Eric's
Festival.
Festival.
If you
So
wanted to host an Eric's Festival,
boom.
we identify a venue.
First, let's start on the identification of a venue.
Okay.
What is a venue in Kenya? What qualifies for a venue in Kenya? Nothing.
Grounds.
Grounds.
Grounds, you'll come up with a tent, you come with a gen set, you come with portable lights, and you come with portable toilets, and you come with the portable water.
Can I go back? What qualifies as an event? Because
event,
my birthday is an event.
This is nice.
So if I host it in my backyard.
So this is events 101, yeah?
All right.
Yes.
So there is travel tourism and event tourism. In event tourism, it trickles down to there's MICE tourism and there's leisure tourism. MICE tourism is the business tourism, meetings, incentives, conferences, and expos. Leisure tourism, we have arts, that is theater. We have concerts, we have sports, that is leisure tourism. So for MICE tourism, I'd say we're katik, we're good. TICAD 9, I think TICAD 2 was held here in Nairobi, KCC, 2016, good. WTO, over 10,000 delegates, good. HLM1,
Africa Climate Summit.
Africa Climate Summit.
2019, there was ICPD, 12,000.
Yeah.
It was huge. Yeah.
For the business tourism, I'd say we're good. But for the leisure tourism, unchecked.
You were explaining what leisure tourism
Yes.
is.
Yeah. So that is what leisure tourism is, yeah.
Which is?
No, wait,
which is
leisure
what?
tourism is concerts.
Concerts, sports, theater, arts, basically, yeah.
Okay. So we have those two, fine.
Yeah.
What is an event? What, because we need to have context for what we're thinking of to regulate. So yes, Mariam says she wants to throw a birthday and invite 30 people and has a backyard big enough to fit. Is that an event? The Erics of Kenya, all 16 million of them want to hold an event. And they want to go to Nyayo Stadium.
I would say the latter is an event. Is the initial one for Mariam's birthday just considered a private party?
Yeah, private party.
So event
It's
has
not a concert.
what's the threshold?
It's not a concert. Is
Yeah,
it a concert?
it's
Is
not
your
a
birthday a
concert. Open to
concert?
public.
No. Is your birthday a sport? No. Is it theater? No. Is it art?
It could be theater.
Is
It could be art.
It could be art.
So if you want to make it a theater, then
It becomes, unless it's got public consumption.
If it involves public funds and people paying to
Yes.
attend, this is what we are doing now, consumer protection.
Okay.
Automelipa ticket hapo unaambiwa the event.
nowadays people are paying to go for people's birthdays, man. I've seen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Corporates are paying
Eh.
because it's Eric's birthday.
I mean,
I'm putting up a billboard.
I was going to say the billboard, yeah.
I've seen them.
yeah. Erickson and Bure, the others.
Everybody else.
Okay. So that because of the public, that becomes...
The event.
And you're answering earlier that are you saying that there is no regulation at all in neither MICE tourism or leisure tourism? So if I wanted to have a conference, an expo,
Yeah.
then I look for a venue.
Yeah.
Either I go for the grounds, Comesa grounds,
Yeah.
or wherever. There's no permit that I need.
See, apparently there's no permit that is needed. The permits that are needed are there's some contention about it because currently the only person who is issuing permits, and they actually just come in it from a perspective of licensing is it Prisk or these music guys? Yeah.
So that you can play.
The rights organizations.
Yeah, exactly.
See,
Okay.
That is the only.
So MCSK and Prisk.
Yeah.
there's a third one.
Which other one?
It's
The new
a
one.
long one. There's a new one.
Longer, yeah, it has a Prisk. Yeah. But this is because there's the lack of you go to the county, you don't need any permission. Like, I mean, There's a
County does not give you a
event
there's
license.
there's no kanjo fee
No.
towards an expo.
No, you have to pay for you have to pay for branding. You have to pay for the independent things
it's individual things that you're doing.
and the gathering permits that you get from the local administration. Just that, but to have a license to operate the event, not that.
So you think? So you're saying
No,
the
you want to
regulation?
introduce one.
No.
Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. What is it that
What
you
to
feel
unify?
needs to be fixed
Right.
around that? Yeah.
'Cause it's giving the idea of a non-unified license. If I'm paying for music, so I pay MCSK or PRISC and all these, then I pay for branding so that I can have whatever.
Kanjo.
Then I pay gathering
gathering permit,
Gathering permit.
All that should
If
be
there's food,
one.
you pay
yes.
Food handlers,
Food
but you see, you already you existing. You already
Because
have it
you
from
already-
wherever you had. Yeah.
Okay, so then you want one unified license?
One unified license, and this is for consumers, the ticket buyers. And okay, this is the thing, when someone is buying a ticket online, they want to be assured this event that I'm buying a ticket for is compliant. The venue, the service provider, say for example a ticketing company. A ticketing company should be able to justify they have a return policy in case the event doesn't happen. We've had incidences where event imekanseliwa na even ndio pesa imeoga. Where do you go to
Hakuna
report
refund,
that?
yeah.
Exactly. If this event was at this, let's say a sticker or a QR code where it says this is certified from maybe KTB or
Right.
if it's certified, it shows that everything that is in there is insured. You're good to go. Like the venue, it is not equal. Come on, is seated. You know the seating capacity. If it's standing, the standing capacity.
Right. And that they've only sold as many tickets as that capacity.
Exactly.
No one will come and take things out of, plug whatever equipment out of the
Hata
wall.
uko sure the people who are supplying food there work on food handlers.
License.
Right now, nobody. Who checks that, man?
Yikes.
You pray, you hope.
You hope and pray. Umesema?
Yeah.
No, you remember there was this event at I want to say
One of the hotels.
but you remember it was a doctor's event, and you remember what went down.
Yeah.
That was the lack that is being exposed.
The lack of regulation.
Lack of regulation.
And when people try to, if, for example, Eric, maybe you've said, hey, we need to streamline this, we need to regulate.
Yeah.
What kind of feedback, how have you pushed for it, if at all? And if you have people just said, "Tuko tu sawa, why are you overthinking these things? We're okay."
People don't take leisure seriously until right now. Square Chan. Chan need to expose sana. Tukanza kuona aya. So what do you mean? Is it that this is the only ticketing company that guys could have? We are not saying that they did a bad job. We are saying if there was a bidding party,
Yes.
other people show what they can do and whatever. We've used you guys. Are you regulated? Are you compliant to some stuff? Unless we get to such stages, we will never know how much of luck we are. Because angalia, tujulize tu, majirani walipigaji hiyo kitu seamlessly.
They're regulated.
They're regulated.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we could even borrow from how they regulate.
Exactly.
But go ahead.
Someone is speaking actually to your issue, Majirani. Charles Ndungu says, we always look down on our Majirani. We hosted Chan, so did they. We are still hosting, by the way, In
Finally,
fact,
kuku.
yes, the playing surface at Nelson Mandela and Amman were way better than Kasarani. Players were able to handle the ball. That speaks
Alienda
still.
huko ama
Still speaks.
in your observation too.
Maybe
Don't beat us just like that too, Anna. Don't give these guys credit like that.
You've gone left. We're focusing on implementing.
These are people who have been preparing for some international stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mtu ametoka Morocco. Huko unajua kila kitu, nikibuy ticket mimi niko safe. Imagine umetoka Morocco umekuja Kenya umebuy ticket online, umeenda kwa gate unaambiwa bro.
Oh, yeah. We didn't think about it from the perspective
of foreigners.
Of visiting
Can you imagine? Because
Yeah,
already for us, it's a bit wild.
Yeah,
but
it's wild.
you know, as a Kenyan, you know how to operate.
Yeah.
If you meet someone selling physical tickets outside Kasarani, you'll be like, I know they're meant to be online, but this is Kenya.
I know.
Let's a ticket. But now from outside.
From outside, it's. But I mean, I think I see Eric's point because I feel like we've lost out on a lot because we're not streamlined with how we execute. A lot of conferences are also moving to Rwanda.
Exactly.
For example. And I've heard that from people, organizers, etc. So I just don't know how this hasn't reached the levels where implementation is key. So is the gap that maybe the smaller players will miss out because if you regulate, it seems like the prioritization will be given to the bigger organizations?
You're creating a barrier.
Or creates a barrier, right? Exactly.
Actually, it's just a very simple checklist of what it needs for you to be compliant in service provision. If it's a venue, like give us your capacities, sitting and standing. For vitu kama study, you need to have seated. You have to have number seats. You need to buy ticket na buy a particular seat. Watu wanasemaga world tours, they avoid Africa. They skip Africa. Kama kwa vile turuka. But really, do you know why they skip us? Because we cannot keep up with what these guys are doing. Look at the Madison Square Garden at 100,000 seater. Wote kinunua ticket, utanunua ticket kiti yako. 10 minutes to the show inaenda kuisha. You still find your seat. Wow. So when you are bidding for international events, we really need to start trying to familiarize na international standards of
how to do this.
Whose docket is this, ministry-wise?
Rebecca's, Madam Rebecca's.
Tourism, not culture, sports, heritage. It's a combined.
Ministry of
it's tourism because we're talking about leisure tourism.
Leisure tourism, and then also MICE and events come in there. You mentioned South Africa, and I'd like you to take us through what South Africa is doing that could be borrowed here. So what kind of legislation and regulation do they have that manages their events better?
I'll skim through. So South Africa, they introduced this event bill in 2008 when they won the bid to host the 2010 World Cup. So they introduced this event bill, and number one, as Mariam was saying, the first quote is, what is an event? What qualifies to be a public event? And then what qualifies to be a service provider for an event? Then we had, number one was the venue. After defining the event, you go to the venue. The venues have been, in Kenya, would say, county.
Devolved.
Devolution.
Thank you, sir.
They've been devolved.
So, yeah, they've been devolved.
Yes.
So the local governments, they are tasked with identifying a venue, making sure that before a venue is given a certificate to operate as a venue, imefikisha some checklist. You know, you have a washroom, you have emergency exits. If you have more than actually this is the law in
it limits
SA.
the number of people.
If you have more than 1,000 seating capacity, you have to have more than 2 entries.
Right.
So after every number, you have to add another entry
So
and
at
exit.
2,000, you add another.
You add another. At another 3,000, you add another. This is all because definitely crowd control, stampedes and stuff. Then they also define the food and F&B sector, what you need to be compliant so that you can supply or you can be a vendor in a public event. They also talked about security. For security, there's a difference between club security and event security. Event security,
police security.
And police security. First of all, you have to be, welcoming. Mtu ametoa pesa yake by the way. Huyu sio mtu amekuja ati fulani. Ametoa 1000 zake 10 ngapi?
Repeat hapo.
Ili ganzi yake ametoa, ili pesa yake ametoa.
Mpatie heshima zake.
Mpatie heshima zake. Iko hata ni suo mbili, iko hata ni punch. This huyu mtu anafaa kutitiwa, welcome them well in case of any skirmishes. The first person to unajua kuna venye there's an attitude in imegrow Kenya, like nikibai ticket event, you're just any other reveler, like is we are not here about you tutashughulikia sponsors. Hapana you ni vendor, hata you ni sponsor, you ni vendor.
It's frustrating by the way.
Atu complimentary hata hawajalipa, but you guys want to give them more.
Right.
An attitude.
The person was paid for the ticket.
Exactly.
Right. Why are you laughing?
Anakumbuka kitu.
He's remembering.
Kwa ground.
He's reflecting.
Ahead and left. So security should basically have customer service.
Yes.
It should be customer centered.
And their rapport should be top notch. Ticket. Then now you have the ticketing platforms.
Right.
Sasa hapo ndio kuna the real regulations. Yeah. The capacity of how your technical capacity should be gauged. How many? Okay, let me give you an example which will itatusaidia ku explain. Yes, kwenye kulikuwa na issue na Kenya na Zambia match. There were 22 events happening in Kenya. 22 mega events. On the same day.
22 different events.
22 different events it was going to happen here Kenya. Na for purposes of unpaid ads, we will not mention the entities, but different ticketing platforms walikuwa na events za 1,000 people, 1,500. Christie's was happening on the same day, Christie's rugby. The same weekend. We had many events happening. All these events, hawa watu walikuwa more than the 40,000 yenye ilikuwa pale kasa na ilikuwa imesumbua hivyo ati watu wameingia unaelewa ati bots. See, you do an exclusive ticketing, you give this entity to man 10,000 people and this other to man 10,000 and these are to that man 10,000.
Distribute platforms.
Yeah.
What does that help? Number one, we do not have clogging on one website. Nikienda huko nipate imekwama naweza enda ile na nikipata huko imekwama naweza enda ile na nikipata unaelewa. Number two, admission on at the point of entry.
Yeah.
You'll have a team here. These guys, a team of these guys, a team of these guys. Depending on how I'll be served by this team, nitajua next time nitabuy ticket kwa nani.
That's fair.
This is all according to your technical capacity.
Yes.
So are you saying a regulation should now stipulate that? Because that sounds like, the event organizer deciding how am I going to sell my tickets? Let me spread.
You see, now who will qualify to be part of the guys when you're on a pair? Unless you are compliant, unless we have something that we could say, we have 10 compliant ticketing services in Kenya. We'll take the best for.
What would I need? What do I need to be compliant as a ticketing vendor?
Thank you. Sasa tutumie tule copy ya essay. Number one, return policy. Return policy, that is consumer protection, value for money. Are you unatuzia hewa ama walewa? I saw juzi an event saying Chris Brown and CG, what was the other guy happening, and then the ticket was 2,000. And people were there. It was like, Chris Brown amekuja na 2K, kumbe it was a listening party.
Oh my God.
That is something, yeah? Return policy.
Okay.
Number two, assigned seating. If we have a theater, a stadium, and you can seated event, you can number of seats, you need to provide assigned seating.
Right.
This is an assurity of
where you're buying and where you're going to
what I'm buying. I know where I'm going to sit first of all. Yeah. Number three, there was the technical capacity. The number three was the technical capacity. You need to have you need to meet some threshold of your servers. Servers zako kukingia ukiweka event ifika seta 2 zitahang. Especially if you have to do like AFCON will be very different.
Itakuwa noma.
Kina salata kwa area. So people will be buying now tickets like ile legit.
Yes.
Mtu anabuy ticket not because of Kenya, because mimi niko na Manchester na mimi nakwenda kuonana. Okay, stand up one about here. But there are people who will go to see these guys, and they are using international procedures ni wanajua huko. So we need to comply to zile vitu zina happen internationally.
Before we go, Jano,
go ahead.
I think there's one you only glossed over, and I'll be honest, it's my biggest worry as far as attending events in Kenya, and it's security.
Security.
The worst if ni kitu ya usiku. It's glossed over. A lot of shortcuts are taken. Compliance from a security perspective, what does it look like?
So security
and for women.
Okay, good. Now that is security is very closely tied to the venue. you cannot host a night event without floodlights. Wezi niambia unategemea kufanya event ya wase 2000 na lights zako
na solar lights.
Na zile unaelewa solar lights. Lazima unaget ama disco lights. So security with the barriers again now. The barriers have to come with the venue. Does the venue accommodate barriers za kuleta ama yenyewe iko na barriers zake? You saw the last time tukifanya event ya mwisho the Angola, people had to go the zigzag mpaka wafike. Hiyo ni kitu ingekuwa imeshafanywa kasa kitambo. Hatuko iko kitu kuongezea.
And it's true, even in international venues elsewhere, it looks silly as you're doing it, but that's how, so, because there's a certain level of control when you're zigzagging through those barriers.
Yeah.
Go on.
And the other thing about security, no, this is a progressive way, I would say. This is not, si lazima ifuatwe, but this is what I'd say. Tomorrowland, right now, if you go Tomorrowland this year, they were not admitting people. They were discouraging people to come with phones. So ile wristband yenye uko nayo, you've already loaded it with money. So you can buy concessions. You can buy, kama ukienda kuona movie, you pay your movie and popcorn and soda kwa ticket. So ukifika unapewa popcorn na soda. Same ukienda event, buy whatever you'll be. Kitu utakuwa unatumia huko, you can load it on your wristband. Yeah. So ukifika you're just scanning it.
And getting
is this to avoid your phone being stolen?
No, this is just you to be good, like your own security. First of
maybe they decided Tomorrowland. People just don't even dance. They're like,
so might as well.
So that one you have to have Nini cooperated with your friends nicely, because I think a phone is also in case of emergency. But I guess there's that part of the experience. Okay.
So I think this is a conversation that sorry, women, I was not really ready for that, but I think that is a conversation that should be
agreed
included in this. And also drunk driving, that's the other thing. As an event organizer, actually koyo bill, but you ongezewa tu koyo bill. I say when you are doing alcoholic events that involve alcohol, you have to partner with a cab service. You have to partner with the cab service because of drunk driving. Squeezing in my park and chill, and that is basically let's come drink in our car and then leave.
And then we drive off.
So I'm still going back to what the bureaucracy is in implementing these regulations, because you're sitting here and I'm like, everything Eric is saying sounds like it should obviously be done. The other voice is saying, yes, Janet, as with many things in Kenya, they should obviously be done, but here we are. But have you tried to propose anything? Have you tried to push? Where is the journey in regulation right now? Where are the conversations and where's the journey?
There's a team of, I'd say 4 guys right now, stakeholders in the industry, myself and some 3 other guys. We have lifted the South Africa event bill that Yundunaka more inclusive and it handles most of the things in Tunadhani are lacking. So we have developed a draft. We have shared it among several stakeholders. Kuna tumetumia some other ticketing guys, wase venues, nini, so that people can input what they think should be included in this bill. I saw there was a team of 23 that was created by KTB to look into some digitizing something in tourism. I think this is part of the thing that they should also include in their in their strategy or whatever it is that they are doing. Because I know Vilonasema, it is it's very slow. It's very slow. People don't see leisure tourism as a thing until it comes knocking. Kama vile imekuja temia chan.
So at least zinasonga, but like to your point, it's slow, which is unfortunate because again, it costs us. I think more and more, I'm seeing how much it's costing us. People just choosing to say, let's take it elsewhere because of the bureaucracy, the lack of organization. You just land and it's helter-skelter. And you're like, nimenunua ticket, I came for this, I'm being told go there, then I'm being sent there. It discourages people, so it's costing us. And I think that needs to resonate
I
and to
agree.
sink in.
I was thinking-
Kendrick, Rwanda.
That's very true.
Yeah.
It seemed like a seamless experience. Actually, I do know people who went and it was quite seamless.
John
I want to
Legend
go
was there.
into
I went for Women Deliver. It was seamless.
seamless again,
It was quite. It's never perfect,
but
but really
can see
there
some
was, and there's a Kenyan organization that has that has hosted a conference in Rwanda for 4 years in a row. Kenyan organization, because they're like, Hapa, it's just
There's order.
I know there's systems. I know there's order. I
What's
know
the
that.
difference?
I want to.
What's the difference? What
Mariam,
is that
don't lose your
one
thought.
I have so many. Sorry,
Okay.
two things. As before you talk about the difference between system and order, I've already even lost one. But I was thinking, I wanted to go into how the industry as it stands now, the private sector players, their bit as well, because self-regulation is also a thing, and I want to. There's a big lapse there. It seems that people will cut corners quite easily, as long as they can fill up as many people. Kujaza study, hata kama si study, and you want to jazz it like a study. So that's one question, the self-regulation aspect, and where people cut corners to make more money. Then I had, just looked through ChatGPT, did some suggestions on making events, concerts, etc. safer for women. The lighting, the things that make it safe for everybody will also make it safe for women, right? So what you're talking about, good access, good lighting, all of that. The different ones were female security staff.
Because of the
Yes, but also just from a safety perspective, and then having trained security staff who are sensitive to gender-based violence, etc. Not just crowd control, not just where end up, they're able to spot things. Also clear rules against harassment, etc. And having monitoring, CCTV and monitoring in the public spaces, and having people ready to intervene. And also safety, and I've seen this a lot on TikTok, coded safety measures.
yes, like the use of
Either it's signs or apps that are good and safe and things like that, or just signs that can be like, hey, I'm in trouble, or this person is bothering me. Or I've seen it a lot in now events that are club-based. You can go to the bartender and just tell them, can I have a passion mojito? That's code for I'm in trouble, I need help. Things like that.
Yes.
There's now also things that check chemical whatevers to check if your drink has been laced. So it's all structural. But yes.
Where do people cut corners? Is what
cut corners to make money in the event industry in Kenya. And what's the fix as far as also internal regulation?
So for self-regulatory, I think Kenyans being Kenyans, mukiniambia control, bro. Control until where money comes in, yeah? Because tell me if I have this field, I've lease out from someone. I want to host I want to host an event there, and I do one event, and it was successful. Trust you me, I'll start charging that venue as a venue for events. I'll regulate myself. If you say so. Take a fence perimeter, take a show. I'll never know how many people neza accommodate hapo.
Wow. Niku guess too. Ama nikuuza two tickets.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've had people, even government-owned venues oversell.
So they don't know the capacity?
They do not know the capacity. And then there's the confusion between a sitting and a standing capacity. Kuna event ulifanya pale Huru Gardens, you remember, I won't say the name, but in our podcast we talked about it. And we talked about how the people, ile numbers walikuwa nangoja watu wakuja nazo, people actually came, but they put seats where people were supposed to be standing. Wow. So seat moja inachukua space ya seka watatu. And people walikuwa wamelipa 8,000. Unaangalilia concert kwa TV, my friend.
Nushalipa.
Numelipa 8,000, bro.
8,000. That's a lot of money.
Right?
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And
I feel like security pay is where they cut corners.
Which is really dangerous.
I want to get another case study. So you've given us South Africa, they have a law.
Yeah.
They have a bill, and this was ahead of hosting the 2010 World Cup.
Yeah. And
so
it's not even exhaustive. Kuna hata vitu za photography and filming people and what you have to do, you know, the consent and nini. These are already incorporated in the bill. Yeah. There's just so much. It's very
all of that is there.
Yeah.
Even liability insurance.
Yes, liability insurance. Yeah.
You know, if whatever happens, then who pays who? That is South Africa.
Yeah.
So we've been hearing and talking about, you know, events are going to Rwanda, Kigali have this convention center, so it's eating our cake. Is it? And what is it that Rwanda is doing different? Do they have such a law in place? Do they have such regulations in place? Or are they just better mannered?
You see, first of all, Rwanda, the convention center is privately leased from, you know, Radisson, yeah? So they do operate now that is self-regulatory. Now,
so the Radisson operates Kigali Convention Center.
Yeah, the convention center is operated privately. So these guys, they will maintain their standards according to what Radisson should do, you know, everywhere. So here we will do it according to
Eric,
whoever
is at the
that's
helm.
the problem.
And we are not doing this because of the money. We are doing it because we can do it. We are not bidding it because of the money. So those guys are doing it because of the money. They know this is business, yeah? We have to deliver this.
And there's an international brand associated to it.
Exactly, yeah.
And they want to benefit, of course, by also having the hotel benefiting with it. So there is no law, there is no regulation.
No regulation I've seen. Actually, the only event bill I've seen in Africa, near South Africa. I've seen another one from Tunisia, Morocco. But hizo zao za Tunisia and Morocco, they are just for specific service providers. Kuna ya ticketing, ya Morocco, ya Tunisia, ya venues. Ya South Africa, it's the entire.
It captures everyone.
Yeah, captures
but
everyone.
It started during the World Cup, which was football focused, and was, of course, bringing in the tourism. Beyond that, you're saying all events now fall under this.
Yeah.
That this guy who was, you know, it was Chris Brown.
CB akiperformiwa.
So in that Chris Brown event, all these things.
What will their specific seats?
Beyonce also performed
Even
there,
Beyonce
and that tells you, because you've seen the scale of her concerts, the fact that she was able to perform in Johannesburg.
She knew the checks and balances.
They've met the standards.
So Rwanda, according to the Rwanda Development Board, they have tourism law, in brackets hospitality and entertainment, 24, revised with the cabinet resolution dated August 1st, 2023, addresses the regulation of tourism, hospitality and nighttime activities, likely including aspects of event oversight, but details on how specifically this applies aren't clearly outlined in publicly available resources to be identified.
Like our tourism laws.
Yeah.
So even Kenya, we have the TRA.
Okay, so not necessarily
in Kenya for, you know, travel tourism.
Yeah.
Travel tourism.
Operators and TRAs, safety in hotel, and all those things are there. But now it goes beyond. So if we wanted to do one, because like now Eric's thing is going to be in, let's say, Tigoni.
Yeah.
Trying to after kuna shamba ya majani hapa, kuna space pale.
And you really have to hope that the person organizing, because again, we've also seen brilliantly organized events in Kenya. Just depending on who it is who decides to go all out of their way.
So you're saying let's not leave it to chance.
Basically.
Chan imefungwa tu macho. This should be like our learning step.
I think so.
Yeah. And given that we are doing AFCON, tuanze kujiprep mapema tuzoe hii story.
Right. Can I ask you something? I would think that if the industry is competitive, the self-regulation checks in. But for some reason, it hasn't happened here. Is it also partly a consumer issue? Because I have not seen a case where, because I had a bad experience at Kasarani last time, I'm not ever going to go back there, or I'm not going back there again. Or because I had a bad experience at concert X organized by Jano, I'm not going to another one. So I think part of it is consumer behavior.
You know, there are very many consumers out here. Kuna watu wengi sana hawajaienda, say, event nika flop. So, ukimwambia hiyo yako ni story, I'll still go. I will go. And you know, they're in the millions, what I'd say ni, if unchecked, we could go the Ticketmaster's way. And those guys have lawsuits in Senate.
Yeah.
Artists wanna complain. You sold my ticket at $1,000 USD. Na ticket umenipea $200 USD.
Yeah.
Even more than that.
Even
like
more than
Ticketmaster, I think their hold on, yes, it's very problematic. And you're right, it's because
That
it's
thing
unchecked.
happened.
It's because
That
they've
thing-
left it to the market,
Exactly.
quote unquote.
Quote unquote.
And that's what the market is doing. So you're
Yeah.
right, we could go that way.
Which would be, I wanted to read feedback.
Yes.
Yes, because of time. Eric is very conversant about events. Kuna mtu amesema, Eric, for tourism and creative economy sector CS. Kwisha wewe, Eric. Health and security has not been taken seriously in most of our events locally. Focus is always on the bottom line for the organizers. That's Victor Musembi. Charles Dungo goes ahead to say, Rwanda is a prospective host for Formula One Grand Prix.
Grand Prix. Yes.
Grand Prix.
Yes, that one.
No,
I mean-
our former governor in Machakos, and people were considering his story.
He actually started approaching some people, right?
Yeah.
Marebono may shoot down.
It's not because of
Checks and
shooting it
balances.
down.
Yeah.
I love Formula One.
Yes.
At the time, he was not saying we are putting this in place to be able to bid to host Formula One.
He was
saying let's have Formula One. Anyone who's been to much, even Nairobi as it stands right now, there is nowhere you could host Formula One.
He started with that, and then the next thing is establishing that public land and saying, so this is the People's Park, this is the new Machakos City, and saying this could also be one of the venues where we eventually host the Formula One. So if you look at
Right now, it is being used for TTs.
Yes,
and drag
it's
races.
actually
and
there. There's a space.
There's a space.
The way it said, this is a place where motorsport can take place.
Fair.
And the idea is eventually we get to a point where we grow this thing.
Yeah.
We can even bid for Formula One. There's a formula.
Eventually,
No, let's
because
talk about
as
the
it
bidding.
stands,
You
it's
cannot
still
bid
so far.
You can't bid.
You
From-
cannot
until
bid
you have infrastructure.
until you don't
Formula
have
One
the
standard.
compliant measures to know
To
what
be able
what
to host it.
infrastructure
Yeah.
you may qualify to do this and that.
I wonder how much we've lost.
It wasn't at next year we're going to host Formula One.
The
It's
same
sort
way
of, we've got to start.
Unasahau Grammys zinakam.
That's exactly
We've
it.
got to
At
start.
the time he made the first proclaimment, it sounded like that.
No, that's
It
not what he was saying. He was basically saying,
Yeah.
we have the capacity.
Yeah. If
And we work at it. And he said, the first thing, let's create space. 2, let's bring in motorsport. 3, have the People's Park.
If
Teacher?
that's the case, then I stand corrected.
I still think people can speak with that conviction, but qua ground. So I see both points, because yes, he may have said at some point, but I feel like sometimes even with the right structures, on the ground we are mad. The structures are there. This has been checked, everything. Then when you go, and this is again from user experience, from people who are friends who visited, and are just like, can we give feedback? This is what happened. This is how I didn't feel respected. This was where I lost money. So it can be there. He could have even been saying, I believe we'll be ready. But these checks that Eric is saying, that it's the devil is in the details.
It is. Also, it's in the, don't just make proclaimments. It's very close to the Grammys one.
Yes.
Because TTs and motorsport are a world away from Formula One. Even South Africa right now is struggling to host Formula One again after a long time out.
MotoGP.
Even with Formula One itself, they're trying to bid again. And it's been an incredibly long time. So it's like, it's the same, it's okay to say we're building motorsport and we hope to one day be able to have the capacity to host Formula One, or we're building our concert
Even if
venues, we hope to host
Even
the
if I said it that
Grammys.
way, Mariam, right now, you'll hear Formula One.
No, I think it's a difference between ambition and delusions of
And the
grandeur.
thing
But
is,
please.
Well, it's
the thing is,
important to have ambition.
We concentrate
tell us
so
the other
much
day one
on
of
the
the
venues.
quotes?
Sorry, it's important too?
The shoots
No,
and
people concentrate so much on the venues,
Yes.
and we forget. Kama sasa hivi watu
Everything
wana
else.
complain sana
About
kuhusu Chan. Tutahostwa pia maplayer, and that was not even the problem that we had.
That's not even our issue. Was not accommodation.
Our issue
space.
was not even accommodation now. It was technology.
You were saying, Ati, I told you the other day about ambition.
About aiming, yeah.
I know you can aim, but aim with.
Like now, we
With-
laughed when we talked about, aiming to host the Chan or aiming to host AFCON. But, you start at it and then you go towards it.
Yeah.
When South Africa was talking about we'd like to go and start placing a bid for the World Cup, they didn't have some of these facilities in place. They didn't have this law in place. They didn't have, but it's ambition. Ambition then gives you the roadmap to it. When Eric is talking about can we regulate, he's talking about, we ought to be growing, and our event space is growing. if you just look at what's going to happen in the future, so we have,
AFCON
and Bomas is coming as a big conference convention center. Other people are going to come in. Private sector is looking and seeing there's actually a growing event space in this country. It's going to grow and proliferate. If we don't think about how we protect consumers
and regulate
and everybody around it,
even the stakeholders themselves.
Yeah, because I think the issue.
I don't want to have a venue, may spend so much on it, and then someone else also just does some landscaping, and now that's my competitor now.
Wow.
I understand what you mean.
Yeah, I also think that the cutting corners is what kills us. To Eric's point, ambition is critical. We have the people, we have people like Eric who can put these things together. We do. But again, consistently, at least over the last 3, 4, 5 years, there's always people cutting corners, and that then kills
That's right.
the promise of even the ambition of what could be. Unless we fix that, exactly.
Which is where regulation
Which is where Yoshika Mike comes in.
It is. Dan Mwangi, number 9, the poet,
Yes.
is reminding us about the other collective management organization. It's a Performing and Audiovisual Rights Society of Kenya, PAVRISC.
Yeah.
Performance and Audiovisual Rights Society of Kenya. Okay.
He also caught in the poet in him when he said, people don't take leisure seriously.
The oxymoron.
He said it's an oxymoron.
It's funny, my lecturer, he has a PhD in leisure management. Amesomea kutulia.
Imagine.
Wow.
Huwezi mshinda kuchill.
Amefanya a whole research paper on
He's a
leisure.
lecturer.
Oh, wow.
Has a doctorate in leisure
Because
management.
it's a thing.
It's a thing, yeah.
Jeremy Martin is saying, I'd like to join Eric on this mission in any small way to help drive this. Kindly share his socials. We need to get this in check. So also, I think, Eric, I like that you've mentioned there's already a group that's trying to push for it. Amplify that so that we can also, because we all benefit from this industry, so that we can also push for it from our end. Just before we say bye, your world is it's already time. Kenya, we want impact of the economy on youth. That is going to be the topic with an economist as well as sustainable development advocate. That's happening in just a moment, as well as the impeachment of the Kericho
Kericho governor. Day 2. Impeachment hearings continue.
Currently underway.
Another Eric.
It's currently underway. That's on the screens. It's happening right now.
It's another Eric. Dr. Eric Mutai. And the person who's taken the impeachment is, it's coming from the county assembly. And the speaker is also Eric.
What is happening?
Oh, good Lord.
Eric Festival.
Eric Festival. Loading.
Mtuweke venue nzuri, venue safi, venue secure, ticketing smooth. You guys are set. Eric's, you're set?
Kabisa.
Fantastic. Janet's tunakam.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Eric, to our guests as well, Heshimiwa, as well as Joshua, for joining us. Yes, up next is Your World. Vibe Shift on Nation FM. We'll be back fixing the nation one conversation at a time tomorrow morning from 6 a.m. Have a good one.